Hello, hello, Taurus. Welcome back to the channel. It's Chrissy Sawyer here. So I've conceived of a new reading because we have Mars and Venus meeting in Leo later on this week. And I thought it might be interesting to do a masculine, feminine reading. So this is how it's going to go. We're going to read for the feminine on the left. This is going to be a 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 card reading. So grab a cuppa. The masculine on the right, and then in the middle will be the cards that can provide a space for meeting, a space for reconciliation. So primarily this reading will be for the inner masculine and the inner feminine, but you take what resonates, and if you see this showing up in your world as a real-time relationship, apply it. It's fine. All right. So we're going to begin with current energies, what archetype you're bringing, your sides are bringing, and what light wants to be shone onto those archetypes. And then we're going to look at what these aspects are willing to change. And then we'll look at what they actually want to achieve in this. And then we'll pull an outcome card or a guidance card. And it's looking really interesting. I'm getting the word autonomy here quite strongly with you, Taurus. So let us have a look. I've already pulled all the cards and they're all laid out. So Taurus, your Venusian self, because you're ruled by Venus, is in current energy of regeneration, rebirth, letting go of something that has dogged and hounded you, stuck in the physical, resistance to change, letting go, frustration. All right. Okay. Now, I literally had this conversation in the last couple of days that we avoid the maelstrom, but actually what we're doing at an alchemical level is when we're causing a tower moment in our own life, because we cause them, what we need to do is to gather a storm. And we do that with the holding of energy, with moving into resistance and frustration, with fatigue. And what that does is that creates the catalytic converter so that we can break open and move into regeneration. Might be a bit harder as a Taurus. All right, so know that you're exactly where you need to be. All right, if you're in all of this, whatever words came through there, stuck energy, what you're doing is you're building up a head of steam. So stay with it, feminine, stay with it. And your inner masculine alchemizing the emotional body to move into a feeling state. Got victim consciousness coming in here, wounded warrior energy coming in here. Claptrap, circumspect, devoid of emotion. I don't know what any of that means. That's for you. So to the sea can talk about making a big movement. It can literally talk about, in the physical, that can talk about moving away, but we're doing an internal reading here. And what this tells me is this is moving to the feminine. Same thing happened on Saji's reading. It's got the feminine coming into the masculine. So to the sea is to move to the emotional body, to allow that emotional process, that the unmet self, if you like, because we've got the depths of the sea and we've got the moon, which is all about what's hidden, the hidden field, the illusion. Coming in on this alchemical 7, the fusing of light into the physical, the mystic. And you've got the same meeting point as Sagittarius, which is really interesting. So this is where the masculine and the feminine can get together and find some kind of level ground. And that might be about talking about their dreams. That might be about collaboration, co-production, and my dream not being your dream, and the autonomy of that, but finding happiness in that collective, transitioning, regenerating field of bonded union. Interesting. Let's look at the archetypes. So the archetype that the feminine is bringing in is Fool energy. This is the beginning. This is getting sucked back into the void. And kind of not having too big a plan, but leaping in trust. I've got a similar energy in Sagittarius' reading. They got like the leaping leopard, take the leap. Or stay the course. So this energy is about fearlessly revealing emotion. Now this is interesting. All right. So we've got the masculine in his current energy of I'm going within. And the feminine in her regeneration is looking at her inner archetype of Fool energy. Wow. Learning to laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. So fearlessly revealing emotion is going to warrant some level of vulnerability within the feminine self as she comes face to face with this emotional inner masculine. So she's moving out of denial of an emotional truth, and look at what came in with the first card. It was all that frustration and resistance and stuckness. So she wants to move into Fool energy. So she's harnessing the archetype of the Fool, which couldn't be better for this point. This is, like I say, we're closing some ginormic karmic wheel. We've got new karmic intent coming online, which is self-identity. And if you can identify yourself, good luck with that. But if you can't, how can anybody else identify you? And the masculine is harnessing the archetype of the networker. So this is about communication. Conscious communication came out in the last reading as well. Oh, it's spooky. This is about the sharing of information, and it might also be about the sharing of emotions or unprocessed emotions. It's about empathy. So it's about the inner masculine for Taurus coming into empathy and feeling. I'm not seeing much Mars so far. I'm seeing a lot of Venus coming through the masculine. So, staying with the archetypes and the feminine's archetype of wanting to harness her Fool, just to put down the burdens, it feels like, to put down the burdens and flourish. And what she's going to need to shine a light on this is feeling masculine. It's all flip reversing. It did this in the Sag reading. We're heading towards androgyny. Watch the last collective video. Assistance with access. It is necessary to ask for and accept help. And an awful lot of the time when we don't accept help, when we don't ask for help, when we don't make ourselves vulnerable enough to ask for help, we move or get shunted into victim. So if you hear yourself complaining about nobody ever supports me, well, number one, that's your base chakra needs some work. But number two, are you asking? Are you really asking? Are you asking without expectation or obligation, without emotional guilt tripping? Is it like open asking and leaving yourself vulnerable to an unexpected outcome? Remember, the middle ground with the masculine is happy, happy. There's potential for great outcomes here, but we must let go of our attachment to outcome, because that's what stymies us, because we're futile human beings. We can only dream this big. So the masculine with his networker wanting to communicate his empathy, wants to shine a light, look at this, on radical honesty. Yeah, I've left a card out, I've just noticed. It takes radical honesty to leave yourself wide open. If we're talking about water, emotions, and empathy, to communicate that openly and autonomously, autonomously means it doesn't matter what you say about me. It doesn't matter how you hear what I'm saying. It matters that you hear. So radical honesty is to believe in the facade, is to suffocate in the armor of alienation. Facades are like, I don't need to do that stuff. I can make myself heard in good, clear language. And sometimes, how do we express confusion? How do we express sorrow and loss? So this is about challenging his self-defeat and self-denial. I want to just quickly knit back to the archetypes. So she's wanting to bring in the archetype of fool energy, and he's wanting to bring in the archetype of networker energy. The middle ground for these two archetypes to meet, what have I been talking into, is the victim, right? And the reason that's in the middle is because it could be really easy if he's bringing radical honesty. So if the inner masculine is going to bring something that might shock us within, of why he hasn't been taken action, of why he hasn't been able to be active in the world. And if those two sides aren't met, so if we aren't fully meeting the inner masculine and feminine and holding that, there's a fertile space in the middle to move into victim. I'm not being heard, I'm not being met, but actually I have to leave myself open and vulnerable for that to be met in the system. So mastering the victim is about no longer allowing yourself to be victimized and no longer victimizing others to get what you want, right? And sometimes we play victim to get positive strokes, to get the big strokes. Oh, woe is me. This is the fatigue that's coming through. Woe is me. Great learning. So we'll come back to what I want to shine a light on. So Taurus, your feminine wants to shine how to ask for help with her fool energy. Your masculine wants to shine a light on radical honesty in how he's going to communicate through his networker. And the middle ground is transitions. This is a perfect energy. Is to allow the transition. So we've got a real breaking down of resistance coming in here. This is about inner resource and having all of the inner resource you need to cross whatever bridges are on your path. This is literally the bridge. The transition is the bridge between how to ask for help and how to be radically honest. by knowing you come here with everything that you need and more. It's being able to access it. Okay. Wow, 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 wow. So let's move to, what are you willing to change? What is she willing to change? She might be willing to change how she seeks perfection. She might be willing to change a disenchantment with what she expected and what she got. She might be willing to change her perception of perfection. It's coming in on this 30, which is such a highly creative number. Oh, wow. Yeah. She might not have had the time to dream her creativity into being because she's been maybe leaning into the masculine. But the corresponding masculine energy is, I can bring it into form now. I've got this excitement in my solar plexus, which is like, gimme, gimme, gimme. I want to take action for you. I want to serve. Dream big. I want to serve. So the active masculine is going to start becoming active. And doing it with all, look at this water. Look at all of this water splashing now. It's almost harnessing the Fool energy, isn't it? Wow. Yeah. When this card out, I got a direct link to this card. Right, let me explain. What you want wants you. And there might be conflicting wants here, but I'm not seeing it because the willingness to change is between her creativity and his active creation, which seems in balance. So what you want wants you is about mutual respect. Now I'm moving into a physical relationship here, I can see. So in a physical relationship, that might look like, if the feminine is trying to harness the Fool energy, then what she wants kind of has no reason. Doesn't need to please another. Again, surrender people pleasing. Because sometimes in the people pleaser, where we've got two people, they might want different things. And in their avoidance of moving out of control, I've lost control. I'm not going to get what I want. It's easy to switch to emotional blackmail. It's easy to switch to shaming and guilting to get what you want, to move into shadow. To respect that what you want wants you and what I want wants me, and those two might be really different things, is to deeply nod to autonomy. That's going to beg a bigger question about working together as adults, really communicating as adults, but he's harnessing the networker. It's all good. This is just goodness, this. It's like everything you need is here, laid out. The last three cards are poignant beyond belief. What is it they want to achieve? She wants the sun. It's birth. Sun to feed the regeneration. Oh, you've got it. That's the rebirth of this beautiful. The traditional image of the sun card in tarot is a child on a horseback. It's a child on horseback. It's that kind of. It's abundance. It's fecundity. I love that word. It's appreciation. It's seeing actually how much you already have. It's a recognition of inner resource and outer resource, and feeling great in that. Happy, happy. That's what she wants to achieve, is to move into that sun glowing energy. What he wants to achieve, these are big energies. The masculine wants to wrap it up. He wants to move into a new cycle, wrap up this big cycle, and celebrate the story that's passing and welcome the new energy in, which is fully supporting her desire to move into the sun. The world is the end of the major arcana. It's the completion of the journey. And the next card is the Fool. It's absolutely regeneration. Everything's going for you in this reading. I don't see any real blocks. The flow is all moving. It's all coming in to support diagonally and vertically. It's beautiful. Their meeting space. Dead, done, over with. Dead, put it down, let it die. Stop trying to resurrect something that probably never served. Let it go. What can you let go of? Taurus, got some gorgeous energy here. Gorgeous. Yeah, and this is kind of whilst this is the end of July reading, I'm sensing these readings will traverse the next 6 months because we're building legacy. We're rebirthing how to relate to one another. So yeah, when it hits you. Let's look at final guidance, please, for Taurus for this powerful transition time. Oh, a beautiful reading. Yeah. Be here now. That's very Ten of Swords. Let it drop. Do not drag the past into this. Do not drag the past. Be here now. Be here now. Sun. Happy, happy. Regeneration. Fool. Radical honesty. That's some slamming energy. Slamming energy. Stay in the present. Don't get too far ahead of the flow. That's as bad as dragging the past into the now. Far ahead is attachment to outcome. Gotta let that shit go. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled in each moment. Handle each moment now, right now. Amazing. Taurus, amazing. Happy time, whatever time this lands with you. Yeah, I'll see you all again soon. I'll leave you with my love. Bye.